In this video, I'll show you how to create a detailed project plan using the planner in awork. This type of planning is perfect if you want to keep a close eye on your team's daily capacity, use project tasks as the basis for your planning, and if you track time or schedule your tasks directly within their calendar. If you're looking for a more high-level monthly or weekly overview instead, check out the other videos in our planner playlist. The great thing is, these two planning flows can be combined. That way, you get the best of both worlds. A rough pre-planning of your projects and more detailed planning when the project kicks off. For this workflow, you'll need tasks with one or more assignees, a budget, as well as a start and an end date. You should either track time on tasks or schedule them in the calendar. These times are then deducted from the task's workload, ensuring it's always up to date. Define a planning period. For example, you plan the upcoming week every Thursday morning during a planning meeting. That way, you'll have a clear overview of your team's capacity for the following week right after the meeting. Your team setup is also crucial. Define your users' availability. This ensures daily capacity is displayed correctly, and users aren't being assigned 8 hours worth of tasks when they're only available for 4 hours that day. If you frequently receive spontaneous requests, consider not planning your users at 100% of their available capacity. Rather, leave a little bit of wiggle room. Absences such as holidays should also be added to the planner. That allows you to spot potential bottlenecks early on. Link your calendar with awork so that meetings and routine tasks are reflected in the workload calculation. This helps you avoid overbooking your users. And lastly, assign your users roles or positions. You can also add skills to their profile in order to really quickly be able to find the right users when assigning tasks or assigning projects. In order to know what's going on with your project at all times, we recommend that you create new projects on awork and maintain existing ones. This could mean deciding on a minimum amount of information that needs to be added to each project, such as its start and its end date, as well as its budget and the times being checked on it. This allows you to spot bottlenecks early on. You can assign priorities to your projects via tags. This allows you to highlight important projects with a few easy clicks. And lastly, stay flexible when things change. Have regular updates and check-ins with your team and inform clients and teams early on about change. How you can do that with comments is something that I'll show you in a few moments. A task's budget is spread evenly across its duration. This task has 5 hours of workload, so I get to work on it for 1 hour every day next week. Unlike bookings, the workload of a task will be shifted into the future if no time has been tracked on it or it hasn't been scheduled into the calendar. There's a separate video on our YouTube channel explaining workload calculation if you'd like to learn more about that. Now, let's have a look at some everyday situations. A new project is starting soon. Who on my team has the capacity to work on it? After opening up the user's view of the planner and using the filter to add either the team or users that are going to be working on that project, I can then select a time frame. This will then show me the availability of my users during the selected dates. Something else that can be really helpful before you go ahead and start planning in tasks is the checklist. With the checklist, you can keep an eye on any important task filters, upcoming milestones and due dates, as well as absences. To start assigning tasks, you can search for the project in the sidebar, open up your users, and simply click and drag to assign tasks. If the project isn't starting for another few weeks, you can also use bookings. This way, you can reserve your users' availability into the future. It's really important to delete these bookings once you have assigned project tasks. Otherwise, both the tasks as well as the booking would be counted into the user's workload. You can either go ahead and convert a booking later on, or you could also simply just delete it. You can also plan directly within the project's timeline. To do that, simply open up the timeline, click and drag your tasks, and once you go ahead and assign, you have the little availability here, which allows you to see the available times of your users during that time frame. And from here, I can simply assign. I can also use the search for project roles or assigned tags. So if I'm looking for a designer, all I have to do is type that in, and now I have easily just found my graphic designer. During our team meeting, I want to see who's working on what. In the Users tab of the planner, I first either add the team or the individual users of my meeting, and then everyone can give a quick status update. If we see that someone is overbooked, we simply open up their workload to see what they're working on. If any of these tasks need to be reassigned, we can either manually do that by simply clicking and dragging them, or if there's a lot of tasks that need to be reassigned all at once, we can use the multi-select to select multiple tasks and then either edit them via AI or offset them by a certain amount of days. For status updates on an important project, we can also swap one over to the project timeline view. Now we can see all tasks, bookings, and milestones at a glance. In the project user view, we can see all bookings and tasks assigned to the users across all different projects. Those assigned in the project that we've just clicked on are highlighted. One of my team members had something urgent come up and they're not going to be able to work on any of their assigned tasks over the next couple of days. In the user's view of the planner, I'm first opening up that user and I'm going to assign them an absence. By doing that, I am letting other users know that this user is not available, and I am also setting their workload to 0. This will also show up in other places rather than the planner, so for example in tasks or in projects where I can also assign users and check their availability. Next up, I'm going to select the time frame during which this user is absent to see if any of my other team members can possibly take over their tasks. If I can see that there is an opening, I could either open and then drag and drop to reassign, or if there's multiple things to reassign because they're all urgently going to need to be worked on, I can use the multi-select to simply set an assignee. And just like that, all these tasks are reassigned. Now, if these tasks could wait and they're not very urgent, I could also use the multi-select feature to then instead go ahead and offset them by, for example, 14 days. One last thing that I want to do is check task filters. So if this user has any other tasks that might be a priority but aren't showing up right here, I could go ahead and create a new filter just to make sure that I'm not missing anything. If I have missed something, I could open up that task and just make sure that I, for example, add a comment here for the other assignee to let them know that this is an urgent task that needs to be worked on. We've just received a super urgent last-minute request. In the Users tab of the planner, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to look for the appropriate team. This time, I need someone from the leadership team. This request needs to be dealt with ASAP Monday morning, so I'm going to select that day, and I can easily see that both Claudia and Jan seem to have availability. Next up, I'm going to move into the calendar. Here I can see that on the upcoming Monday, Jan does not have any time until the late afternoon. Claudia, however, has a free window. So I'm going to go ahead and find that very important task, and I'm going to add it to the calendar. Lastly, I want to make sure that Claudia gets notified, so I simply leave her a comment. Do you want to learn more? Check out our resources or keep an eye out for our upcoming webinar announcements.